Hey everyone, just wanted to talk to you guys before the video starts. Biggest thing is you are going to be hearing me like clear my throat and cough and sniffle. I'm getting over a cold. I wanted to wait until it was done. I just don't know when I'd be able to record it if I waited because it's kind of been lingering. I don't like coughing like in the takes, but I tried to record a bunch where I wasn't coughing. It just always ended up happening, and I don't want to like limit the content I'm putting out just because of that. So I just want to apologize for that. I know it's probably not like a huge issue, but still, I just wanted to address that. And the second thing is, by the time this video comes out, it should Swish should be either done or Temper has played already. And the reason for that is just because I'm helping Sad this Swiss, if somebody didn't know, doing anti, and we play this week. So I felt kind of weird putting out a video talking about their split in like an analytical way when we play, and just for the sake of like competitive integrity and like all that jazz, I wanted to wait. In the future, should Sad be playing a team that I'm doing a review on, it will always operate like this. This does not count towards this week's like Nerd Corner. I will still be taking a poll for this week. Just it will be uploaded on the Monday if Sad has to play them. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, what's up everyone? Welcome to Nerd Corner episode 2. Today we're going to be taking a look at ORA Temper against Revitalize. Specifically, we're going to look at their split. So let's get straight into it. First, I'm just going to talk about their comp. Aura runs a very kind of traditional, like double duel, double smoke with a solo Sky. They are playing a bit of double dive. Usually, you'll see like a Jet and a Raze, but I think the Neon kind of allows for more like fast defaults, like fast vent takes, and it also just provides like some extra pop power. Whereas Jet, you probably only want your Jet kind of like Jet will be entering, but she doesn't take the vent space as quickly, and I think that's something Aura really values, is taking that vent space quickly. So let's get straight into the VOD. Alright, so we're gonna jump straight into the fourth round. As we see, Aura has already won pistol. They're actually pretty close to winning the bonus as well. They just lost the time at the end of it. But as you can see here, they are one off of people. They're like pretty close to sub ults, and nobody on Revitalize is close. Like the closest is their Omen, but you're not really gonna do a set Omen strat. Well, you can, but I don't think this is Revitalize is the kind of team where they're gonna do a set Omen strat on defense. So let's just see how they kind of approach this round. As we can see, they kind of do like a set B default, right? They make a lot of noise. Personally, here I would have like they should, in my opinion, be grabbing the Neon Orb. But this is something you're going to be seeing them do a lot, is they just show B pressure early, right? They grab the Orb. They kind of bait out the Cypher util. Right, so we see Wally grabbing Orb. And this whole time, Peep is walking up mid. Kind of just looking vent. And we see Elf, after inserting, comes back mid. This is like the Aura classic, is they love to do like defaults into inserts, right? So they insert their Omen, they do a flash into male, and this is something the Neon's really good at, is just showing this pressure early, and all this pressure kind of makes them lazy peek ramp, right? Because if you notice at the start of the round, Revitalize already had the Sky and the Raze running away. They're like, wait guys, they're not actually doing anything. So the Sky comes back, does like a pretty lazy peek towards the ramp space, and then Halcyon just gets this free kill. And this is just something you're gonna see a lot from Aura. So now, as we see, they have full vent space. They just dogged Heaven, got full Heaven space, and this just turns into a B split. So they did actually end up losing the B split round. But I don't think the initial plan was bad. It kind of just shows how much pressure they get early with the Neon. They can kind of take over mid and what they do with the defaults. So if we go into this round, they have the Neon ult. They're coming out of a revitalized timeout, even though they did win the round. So as we're going to see, this is going to be another round where they show the example of just how strong this Neon is. So they even mess up the flash, but look how easily Peep was able to take vents. Peep ran mid, even with a bad sky flash, ran from bot mid, did a stun that stuns both, and it stuns the drop, and the whole time they're taking fast ramp, so this vents player was never going to make it out of here alive. So as you see, they took vent, and they have the ramp space already. Now, I do think they make a mistake here. They're kind of forcing this A hit, even with all that space, while Elf still has mid. And as we see, they're kind of just running on this site, and everybody's dying. And Elf is just kind of roaming around mid. So, another lost round, but again, look how this vent player felt so unsafe. Even with a bad sky flash that didn't flash vent, they took a ramp space and the vent space so easily, and it just allows them to pivot so well into the mid round. Alright, so going into this round, coming off of another loss again, but they are on a bye. ORA Temper is on a bye, and if you look at the ults they have Neon ult, Raze ult, one off of Seekers, and last round both Scaredy and Winter use their ults, and they probably won't be getting the Sky ult this round. They do have to worry about neural theft, but you know that's pretty much if they hit the site. So if we watch how they kind of approach this round, they're starting in a super heavy A default right now. So they're just gonna dog close, right? This is very traditional for ORA, right? They show early, wall up, and they're just gonna full contact up behind this wall, blind the dog, and you know, they kind of just make noise. You're like, hey guys, we're here. They start spamming. And we're going to skip ahead because this round does drag on a lot, and I don't want to have this just be the focus. But as we see, very similarly to their B default, right, where they took B main and they insert the Omen here and they go back mid. It's the same round, just pretty much on A, where they have one insert ramp. And they do something good where they're actually leaving the Viper here as well. So Wally can kind of full focus on this angle, the ramps angle, while K holds behind, so Wally just won't get backstabbed. But this is essentially a very similar round. They started A, they left an insert, and then now they're going to make noise mid. So let's watch how the rest of this round plays out. And as we see from Revitalize, Winter has walked all the way down B. Winter right now is just calming. Guys, there's literally nobody through B, and we can see that the Omen and Thump are both in mid right now, and their goal is just make sure they're not going like B heaven. 20 seconds left in the round, and I actually think Revitalize make a mistake here because there's 20 seconds left in the round. Yes, B heaven is like a small gap, but Thump just flashed mid, and we have like all of B space, but yet nobody is playing on site off of these trips. So I actually think Revitalize do make a pretty big error here. I think they should be playing on site, but they group exec, they pop the Raze ult, pretty much just gonna give you the site for free. Walk all the way through, and this isn't like a horrible play from Thump. Thump just wants to take back the ramp space. I do think they could wait a little bit, maybe for Winter. Right, if we look at the Revitalized positions, there's 3 people kind of trying to retake this screen space, and Winter has just now got to vent. I think Thump could kind of wait, but I also get the idea that's like, well, I have timing, and you want to take back this ramp space. Make sure you keep it. Now we'll watch how the rest of this round plays out. Aura is doing good here. They're kind of hard fighting for the screen space. They do get their neural theft off. It's a good omen flash, but nobody really plays off of it. And then this round is pretty much unwinnable for Winter, just because K has lived the whole time in A main, and everybody else kind of died in screen. So we're going to non-Ryan at this point, and I do want to give Revitalize their flowers. I do think they've kind of adapted well. I think they have a good idea of how to play against this Aura Temper default. So this is a more quiet 5-person B main default from Aura, but if we look on the other side of the map, Revitalize has 3-person just pushed down all the way through A. As we see, they're just kind of going to keep walking through mid. They're going to keep clearing everything. And all the B players have to do is just live and keep them interested. I do think the mistake that Aura makes is usually out of this B main default, like I said, they'll kind of, what they'll do is they will insert one and then go back into mid and then re-clear with a dog. But this round they kind of just 5-person default with a cut of noise, and then they're just gonna go for a re-hit here, which I don't really think you can be doing when you're 5-person everything. So, but I do think this is a good round from Revitalize. As we see here, they're just gonna get behind literally all of them in B main, and this is like their easiest round. Alright, so we're going into the bonus round. Aura has once again one pistol and the anti-Aiko. So we're going into a bonus. If we look at the map and what's happening on the screen, there is a 4-person middle. I think they're going to do like a walk down, and they're going to fake A pressure with the smoke. So we'll go ahead and see how they approach this round. Barriers down, they smoke A. This camera does kind of thwart this, because the camera just sees Elf kind of peeking out, takes the tag off. This whole time you see Elf is trying to take Yuto out, and they end up just triple swinging. In reaction, Revitalize speed up into B. For some reason, Aura was getting ready to go into A heaven, but they do come back, and they're just gonna try to take B fast. Winter pushes the smoke solo, donates a gun to Corey. So now we're up numbers, we're in a 4v3, and if we look back here, we're gonna see Pete run down mid and grab this gun from Sylvia, and then start the retake, which I think is good, because now they're aware that they're up numbers. They can just take their time. Elf redog CT. CT's clear. Nobody's pushed. Now they're getting ready to start the retake. It gets a little scary here because, as you see, they don't clear hell, but Elf gets a good trade. And here they kind of just trade each other out when they're duels. That is a bonus conversion for Aura Temper. So this is a good round to kind of just display how Aura likes to play defense on this map. As we see, Revitalize is forcing, they're kind of against like a low-ish buy, right? There's no real rifles on the side of Revitalize. The best gun you have is like a Guardian. So they're already in a good spot. Peep has now gotten the op online. The rest of the team is just rifling. So if we watch how they approach this round, they're going to get Peep on the ramp line with an early flash. So Elf flashes A main. Peeps kind of take the line. This is a good line to take. You could go a little further out, but this is a good line to have against no Viper comps, right? There's no vision block. There's not going to be like a... Some people, right, will throw the DRX wall that cuts off like this. There's not going to be any of that. There's no orb here to the nigh. Nothing of that sort. So getting this ramp line early is really important against no Viper comps just because you will have the early info. So Elf flashes early, it instantly starts to pivot away. Peep also does reposition. I think Peep could have stayed, but they try to go fast B here. And Corey is just going to hard fight for this site, as we see. Just early blind, hold sight, and the rest of Aura is just playing to flood. They're still down numbers, but they're flooding out with ult. It's a good ult from Wally, and Peep is just down in the spawn. They end up winning anyway because Wally gets a 4K. But this is just a prime example of how Aura approaches this defensive half. They do a lot of 2-1-2s, right? 2-1-2, aside from the bonus, obviously, with a 4-person mid. They 2-1-2. They kind of just let Elf get early flashes down the A line. If there's nothing, or Elf, will kind of bump around the map and look to help everybody else. Meanwhile, on B, they let their Omen just kind of hard lurk, will always flash this line, and they just played a flood on B, which is how I think you should be approaching the defense side of this map. You should... Very rarely do you want to be playing full retake on B. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to let this last round play out, but I hope you guys enjoyed. There will be a new poll this week in Never Grouped, so make sure to tune in that. Thank you so much.